Hello, ladies. So today we are going to continue on from yesterday's video about being unshakable, or when you get rattled, how can we fix it? So what I wanted to go over today, and as you can see on the screen here, is a little mental tool to use whenever you find yourself pissed or really mad. And it's going to be the first thing that we discuss on how to deal with triggers. Yesterday the video was figuring out what things, people, life events trigger you to fall off track and get rattled. And today I'm going to teach you how to deal with triggers that make you angry. So the whole point of using this mental tool is it basically allows you to take ownership of your anger and get it all out. Sometimes all we really need to do is just scream really loud into a pillow, but this kind of takes it one step further and allows you to really go a little deeper, get all of those emotions out, and take control over that anger and just release it from your body and not hang on to it as this dark cloud over you that just screws up your entire day, your emotions, your mental stability, and everything. So the first step in using this rage release tool is right here. Step number one. Oops. So right now, what or who has triggered you to feel rattled? And rattled is angry, frustrated, pissed off, hurt, upset, disappointed, any of those relatable, interchangeable words. And what we're going to do is you're going to write this down in a notebook somewhere, or if you just want to do it as a mental exercise, that's fine too. But this is what we do. We write down right now, and you fill in the blanks here. Put in the person's name, has triggered me to feel XYZ, whatever feelings, angry, frustrated, kind of what I was saying earlier, because of whatever caused that initial trigger. So let's say, for example, that your kids did something to piss you off. You're all moms. So you say, right now, my child has triggered me to feel really pissed off because they didn't listen to what I said, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't have to be children. It can be anything. Spouse, coworker, random person at the grocery store, doesn't matter. But all we're doing is, this is basically allowing us to stop our thoughts in their tracks and not let the anger keep building on itself, because it's forcing us to stop and think and focus on that one particular thing that actually caused this whole rattled world to begin with. So first we need to write down and figure out who's triggered you and how did it happen. And again, this is a no filter type of document. This isn't the time to be nice with what you're writing down. Your true feelings and thoughts and emotions need to come out when you're filling out this document here. So what we want to do next is, right now, if you could scream at this individual, what would you say? And then you're going to write it down. Right now, I would scream, and then you're going to fill in the blanks. This is really the time to just let it all out. Like, if it's real late at night and your kids are going crazy and all you do is want them to go to bed, like, what do you really want to say? Sometimes I'm sure you just want to look at them, grab them by their shoulders and look at their face and say, shut the fuck up and go lay down before I punch you in the throat. And if that's really what you want to say, you need to write that down. If your spouse, if your friend, if a coworker did something to piss you off, then you have to let it all out. If you think a particular thought. If you're cussing at them in your head, you need to be cussing at them on this piece of paper. If you're wishing terrible, awful things to happen to them in your head when things happen, you need to write all this shit down on this piece of paper here. This is about being very raw and getting everything out in the open on what you're truly feeling at the moment when you feel triggered and your world gets rattled. Okay? This is not the time to be nice. This is the time to just unleash everything and let it all out. Okay? Step number 3. Right now, if you could force this individual to think or to say or to feel or to do something in particular, what would it be? You know, a lot of times whenever we get really mad, we want somebody to feel what we feel, or we want them to hurt like we hurt, or we want them to, you know, try to fix it right away kind of thing. And what we want to do here is what, like very specifically, exactly do you want them to do to fix whatever trigger came up? So again, this is where you need to let it all out. The only way to really take control of your anger and your rage and these emotions is to be honest about them and get it all out on paper. So next is, this is the fun part here. Right now, and again, I wrote it down right here, with zero filter, what do you wish to truly think or say about this individual? So you write in a blank, so-and-so is, and then you come up with a 1 or a 2-word description. So like, if your spouse pissed you off, so-and-so is a dickhead. So-and-so is an asshat. So-and-so is a giant bitch. Just let it all out. Get your true feelings down on this piece of paper. And that you can just keep going line by line. Make this list as long as you want it to. It needs to contain every little thought that you have about this individual at the moment. It needs to get it all out of you. This is the fun part. This is where they're never going to read it. No one is ever going to see this piece of paper except for you. So this is the time to get all the shit out that you actually want to say. You know, there's times where we fight with people, we fight with our friends, our spouses, our coworkers, our kids. And there's a bunch of shit that we hold inside because we want to be politically correct. We don't want to be rude. We don't want to get fired. We don't want to get divorced, that kind of thing. But we need to get those emotions out at some point because we all feel them. We all have those very similar thoughts. Not one of us goes a day or goes through a relationship where you don't want to punch the other person in the face. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. So you need to get a very, very clear list and write everything down. So next, right now, what is it that you don't ever want to happen or feel for this individual, again, going forward? So this is where you basically write down the ideal, like how to fix it. You never want to feel X. You never want them to repeat a certain action. You never want them to behave in a certain way or to say a certain thing or to do a certain thing. It's basically just getting you to a point where you mentally and verbally get to express how you want things to really be. And it kind of builds into number 6 here. Right now, if you had to put all of your thoughts and feelings into a single triggered statement, what would it be? So so-and-so's name should or shouldn't behave in this certain way, and you kind of use number 5 to guide this description of that behavior or action or what they said, things like that. But basically, the main 4 points to take away from this whole exercise is we have to identify what the trigger was and the emotions behind it, and get very clear and relevant and let it all out, and then mentally and then physically writing it down, come up with how we want it to be fixed. Good chance it's never going to get fixed. This person is never going to see this document. They're never actually going to know how you truly feel, and even if you work things out in the future, it's not going to be the exact way that you want it to be. But in order to take control over our emotions and thoughts, we need to get them down on paper. We need to know what they truly are, and the only way to do that is to actually write them down using the steps here to get very clear and concise on how you truly feel and what outcome you wish to have happened, or what outcome you make sure to avoid in the future with this same person or scenario. So it basically, it allows you to get all of that inner fire and anger inside of you. It allows you to get it all out and release it. And the faster you do that, the better you get at stopping yourself from going down that angry rabbit hole, the more likely you are to stay on track on your goals and not turn to food for comfort, to not go drink a bunch, to not skip workouts, or to eat a bunch of sweets or something to make yourself feel better. Like, there's a bunch of negativity that comes from one small instance in life that rattled your world and caused you to get triggered. So yesterday when I told you to come up with a list of things that trigger you or that you experience or have lately, now once you have each one of those triggers, you can use this mental exercise here to get very, very detailed, very raw, and figure out exactly how to release all of that anger and emotion and pissed offness. Because once it's out of you, once you've actually done this exercise, and if you do it correctly and you don't hold anything back, once you're done, you're going to feel this big weight lifted off your shoulders. You're going to find that you're not so angry anymore. You're not so pissed off. And then you can actually think more clearly and not operate from an instinctual mindset to figure out how to learn from what happened, prevent it from happening again, and stay on track towards your path and grow and learn from this scenario, instead of just getting pissed off again and getting mad at life and then turning to food or alcohol or other vices to fix your problem or to calm you down or to numb the pain or anger, whatever you want to say. But that's the whole point of this little mental exercise here, is to get that anger out of you and not hold on to things anymore, so you can use that mental space and energy for more productive things. So that is our daily revelation / release the anger mental tool that I want y'all to start using. And we're going to continue building on this. Tomorrow there's going to be another mental tool and exercise that you can use after you've done yesterday's trigger identification, and then today getting the negative emotions out. Tomorrow we're going to have a separate topic, which is going to be, my notes here, how to focus, how to get more clear and focus on excuses and stories that we tell ourselves in life. So, all right, thanks for watching, ladies, and until next video.